RebelQueen. Okay, I know it's a little late, but work and all that keeps me busy, so I can't get the stuff watched and then do the review timely. So you guys know the drill. If you want this stuff to be a little bit more on time, subscribe, like, view, and all that stuff. If you want the stuff to be more on time, so me and Albion can kind of start making money off of this. So maybe we don't have to be in the workforce and we be making money off of this instead. So we can be getting this stuff out in time to you guys. So, but anyway, as you guys know, this last week we got the 5th episode for the new Sentai series, Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. So here's my 5 episodes so far review. Okay. Now for this Sentai series, they basically have gone with the theme of the Momotaro legend. For those of you who may not know, because you either don't watch a lot of anime or you really don't know the Japanese culture, but the story of Momotaro is like one of their longest running stories in the Japanese culture. So it gets reused a lot in a lot of their different animes, or even in a lot of their different shows, depending on the show. The story basically goes is, well, sorry. The story basically goes is that a couple, generally an older couple, tongue-tied. One of them generally finds a giant peach floating down the river. It gets taken home, and as they're cutting into it in order to eat it, they find a baby. And that baby boy is Momotaro. Now, they raise Momotaro, and as he's growing up, they find he's stronger than everybody else, and etc., etc., and they're kind of like, okay, you need to kind of go and have your own adventure and stuff. So the wife of the pair makes him these, generally it's millet dumplings, but I guess depending on which region of Japan you're in, it can be changed up. And as he's going forth, he shares his dumplings with a pheasant, a dog, and a monkey. And they join him on, I don't know why I did that. They join him on his journey to eventually defeat the Oni. Hence why the different Sentais in Donbrothers are, of course, the Red Ranger is Momotaro. Our Pink Ranger, the pheasant, who, for the first time ever, and probably, probably only time ever, is a male Pink Ranger. Yes, guys, we have a male Pink Ranger, which is, like I'm saying, is the first time and probably the only time this is ever going to happen, is the Kijin, our Pheasant Ranger. The Blue Ranger is the monkey. The dog is the Black Ranger. And the Yellow Ranger is actually an Oni, so I don't know how they're going to play that in. I mean, it's still dealing with the Momotaro legend, with the fact that it's an Oni, but I don't know how they're going to deal with that later on. Maybe there's going to be some surprise role that instead of her actually being an Oni, she's something else. We're just going to have to wait and see as the series progresses. But so far it's been pretty interesting, because I mean, basically, as the people around the Rangers fall into their greed, or their into some kind of greed or lust or something, that's how they kind of fall into these like monstrous deals. And the Rangers are kind of dealing with that. Though each of the Rangers kind of have like some kind of different backstory a little bit. The Yellow Ranger kind of got dealt a bad hand because and she's the Oni, because she was actually a young manga artist, and she had just won this like young manga artist award for her premiere work, but then she got accused of plagiarism, which pretty much tanked her reputation. And then all of a sudden she got all the stuff that pretty much led her into becoming the Yellow Ranger, and then she met the guy who basically raised Momotaro, because he found him in like this little peach boat, kind of sticking with the whole Momotaro legend. And he's like, find Momoitaro. Kind of. But so far, 5 episodes in, it is very interesting, and it's kind of a combination of Zenkaigers, the show that just ended, and Gokaigers, because they're using gears to transform and utilize powers of previous Sentai, and with that utilizing powers of previous Sentai, it's like I said, the Gokaigers, they actually transform into the Sentai themselves, but kind of like as we just kind of got this little deal with in this 5th episode, I guess unlike with Gokaigers, if it's a team that doesn't have like all the colors for them, they'll just transform into the Ranger that is the next best match for them. Well, I guess it doesn't happen because they were using the real Soldiers gear, basically what we know as the Dino Knights, basically. Or we just generally call them the Dino Knights. Well, Oni Girl was pretty much like, I can't use this one! Because there's no Yellow Ranger in the real Soldiers. And also, basically, unlike in Gokaigers, where if they transformed into the different teams, and if the male Rangers transformed into basically a female version, let's just say like if there was only a female Blue, it would turn into a male costume, or if it was or vice versa. That doesn't happen because our poor male Pink, well, he turned into the when he was like, during one of like the previous episodes, he's like, we can use the gears like that, and he first tried it out. He's like, why am I in a skirt? It's like, oh, well, he's in for a shock. Because there are no other, he's like pretty much the only male Pink. He's gonna have to get used to fighting in a skirt. Though on that note, whenever they actually have female Blues, I kind of feel bad for the Blue Ranger. Though, it's also kind of interesting because the Momotaro character, we kind of see a little disconnect with him because apparently when he was a kid, he was like so good at everything. Others were like, do away with him, or they moved away to get away from him. So he basically kind of like, he kind of goes, kind of like in the original story of Momotaro, he's like, when he creates the bond with the 3 original animals by sharing the dumplings, basically whenever we see Momotaro, he's kind of like, don't worry, whenever even a small bond is something to be celebrated. So he basically just like helps out wherever he can, even if sometimes it doesn't go exactly right. But at the same time, it's kind of like, also with the way they're doing, like, the few times we've seen the Megazord fight scenes, I kind of understand now in Zenkaigers when we actually had that with the sneak peek with Momotaro as, well, Dawn Brother, or Dawn Red, I guess, and we had that big Megazord fight scene with him. I understand now why they didn't actually continue using Dad's gear, because that would have just kind of pretty much messed things up for giving us a little too much insight on how things were going to be done for this series. Because basically every time they beat an enemy, they pick up a new gear that is basically the next Sentai. And whenever they go into the next battle, they can then use the next gear to go to power up and basically get like a new Zord combination. And also this series is kind of like really heavy on the computer animation, because it's like whenever the characters are using their glasses, it's like almost like, whoa, computer game almost. It's like, so far it's very interesting, and it kind of offers a very unique perspective on, like, it'll go straight over little kids' heads, but it's like for like older audiences, it gives a little unique perspective of, we can't just like get too consumed by things that are going on around us, like by getting too strong to do something, or like getting too consumed in something, because it'll just like literally just like take over our lives or something, and we'll miss out on everything else going on around us. Is like kind of what I can take away from this, just like so far 5 episodes in. But at the same time, I'm kind of like going, is this kind of like going to be one of the, because now you're kind of also kind of going, is there like any sign that we're going to have like a 6th Ranger soon? Or is there any sign that we are going to have a 6th Ranger? I honestly don't know. Because, I mean, like I said, since they're using the Momotaro story as a backdrop for at least the Rangers and stuff, I don't know. I mean, they might somehow mix it up in a way to where we get a 6 Ranger, or this could be like one of the times where we just have a team of 5. I honestly don't know. That, or they use some creative influence and give us that 6 Ranger by messing around with the story somewhat. We just kind of have to wait and see. Oh, excuse me. It is a good series so far. I'm interested to see how it keeps on going. Especially because I'm curious, like, how all the characters are going to develop and such. And especially considering, I'm curious, like, how and why, like, considering, like, from the first episode when, it looked like somebody just, like, had to get, Momotaro out of somewhere for his own safety by sending him, like, off in that, like, a little peach-shaped, like, boat, boat, or whatever, so it's like, so in some way I think he's going to be connected to what's going on with our bad guys in some way. I mean, not as an enemy, of course, like, he, like, they might have something to do with his past, like, for the reason why he got sent. So we're just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see as things play out. But it'll be interesting. I mean, Super Sentai has never let us down in that. So it'll be interesting. So far, I would say, if you want to let your kids watch it, yeah, kid friendly. Because, I mean, they, like I said, the stuff I was talking about earlier with, like, the greed stuff will just fly right over their heads. Unless they're older. And honestly, it just really does kind of look interesting. Like I said, I'm interested to see how they are going to take this with the whole Momotaro theme, because I mean, I know a lot of different places in Japan have, like, their own variations of the story. So it'll be interesting to see, like, how they do it. So, and like I said, I kind of don't know, like, with this being that they're basing the Ranger motif off Momotaro, I don't know if we're going to get a 6 Ranger. And if we do get a 6 Ranger, I just don't know what they're going to base him off of. or if they might go and bring in like another, well, since we've already got like Momotaro for like the main 5, they might like do another like go, let's bring in like another standalone deal for the 6 Ranger that might just like intersect with Momotaro, because I mean, that's happened sometimes in like other series that they've done that, but you never know. Like, so we just gotta wait and see. But again, so far it is pretty interesting. We just kind of gotta wait and see for how things turn out. But again, if you want this stuff to be brought to you in a more timely manner, you gotta like the channel, subscribe, and then share it with others so that they can hopefully like and subscribe us. And remember, Albion is doing the Twitch streaming every night, and so like and subscribe with him too. So see you guys next time. Oh, and be safe, everybody. I mean, I know we're getting better on the COVID numbers, but don't be lax. We don't want to have any COVID spikes. Bye.